Good morning, all of you. So, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is your third chapter, Poverty as a Challenge. So, basically, what we are going to read in this chapter is that poverty, I think poverty word is very clear to you people. Poverty is a situation where a person is not able to satisfy his need. So, what are your needs? Your needs are your clothes, shelter, and food. Your food, clothes, and shelter are your needs. When you are not able, or a person is not able to satisfy all this, when he does not have a proper food to eat, he does not have a proper cloth to wear. And when I say proper cloth or proper food, I'm not talking about the luxurious items. I'm talking about the basic food when he does not have a basic place for shelter. So in such situation, the person is called as impoverished. Is called as poor. So now let us see. Overview. This chapter deals with one of the most difficult challenges faced by independent India, poverty. After discussing this multidimensional problem through example, the chapter discusses the way poverty is seen in social science. Poverty trends in India and the world are illustrated through the concept of poverty line. Causes of poverty as well as anti poverty measures taken by the government are also discussed. The chapter ends with broadening the official concept of poverty into human poverty. So, basically, in this chapter, you are going to read about all the dimensions, or you can say all the possible dimensions of poverty. Okay, causes of poverty, and if there is poverty, definitely government will be making some efforts. So there are some anti-poverty measures, anti-poverty schemes that has been adopted or started by the government for the benefit of the poor people. So all this will be reading today. So let us read the introduction. Introduction. In our daily life, we come across many people who we think are poor. They could be landless laborers in villages or poor people living in the crowded juggies in the cities. They could be daily wage workers at the construction site or children working at dhabas. They could also be beggars with children in tatters. We see poverty all around us. In fact, every fourth person in India is poor. That means roughly 270 million, or you can say 27 crore people in India live in poverty. 2011 to 12. This is the stat, or you can say this is the record of 2011 and 12, that 27 crores of people are poor. And who are these poor people? The landless laborers who do not have their own land. They have to cultivate somebody else's land. They have to work as a farm laborers. You can see poverty on the construction sites, the laborers who work over there. You can see it in the dhabas where kids they work, or even the poor people they work. They serve you food, they collect your plates, they collect your money, all these things. You can also see poverty on the various crowded places where you can see people begging for food. They beg money, they beg food. So all these are the places you can see in India. Poverty is one of the most common scenarios. Nobody can say that I have never seen a poor person. You have seen jhuggies. You have seen jhuggies means the temporary houses they make. They do not have a proper shelter, so they make temporary houses across the at the side of the roads. Okay, so all these you see, and these are where you see the poverty. So India is, if you'll be surprised to know that India has the single largest concentration of poor people. जितना वर्ल्ड में टोटल पुअर हैं उसमें सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन इंडिया का है. इंडिया contributes to the highest number of pulverized or poor people. Now see here two cases are given. I'll not read out the cases. I'll just explain you the cases because today in the online class I've already read out the cases. So here in this urban case, there is a story that is given of Ram Sharan. Ram Sharan is a 33-year man, a 33-year-old man, and he works on the farm. He works as a farm laborer on the daily basis, and he's able to earn 1500. And he has 6 members in his family, including him. He has a wife and 4 kids. And apart from that, he has to also send money to his parents who live in Ramgarh, and he has to take care of. That means altogether he has to take care of 7 people. He supplemented, or an additional income is of his wife who earns 800, and his his son who works as a helper in the tea shop. That means all together roughly 25-2600 is their earning, and that too, this is not a regular earning. It's not that this 2600 is their regular earning. It is that today he has job, he is getting, or this month he has job, he is getting. Maybe next month he might not get the job. So this earning is a temporary earning. So he has to take care of his family. His kids, they never do not go to school. They do not have proper clothes, or even if they have only two pairs of clothes, and that is here it is explained as hand-me-down clothes. That means they get new clothes when the previous clothes become unwearable. So this was the condition of Ram Charan. The kids do not go to school. There is no healthcare facility for them. Shoes is a luxury. They do not have shoes to wear. Now this was about the urban case. शहर का केस था. अब एक village का केस आप देखिए. This is the story of Lakha Singh. Lakha Singh, who is again a farm laborer. Okay, he works for the big farmers. He does odd jobs. घर का कुछ काम बड़े बड़े farmers का भी कर देता है. His wife is again not earning. She collects firewood for the, not earning, I mean to say, she's not bringing a monetary gain to the family. She's not earning in the terms of money. Rather, she does household work. She collects firewood for the family. She collects fodder for the animals. Animals के लिए चारा इकट्ठा करती है. Family की take care करती है. लखा सिंह की father की death हो चुकी है because he was suffering from TB, tuberculosis, and due to the lack of medication. उन्हें प्रॉपर मेडिसिन नहीं मिली. हिज मदर इज ऑल्सो सफरिंग फ्रॉम सेम डिजीज. अगैन शी इज ऑल्सो नॉट बीइंग प्रोवाइडेड विथ प्रॉपर मेडिकेशन. हर किड्स आर not they do not go to school, neither do they have proper health. They are malnourished. They do not get proper balanced diet. They are not provided with proper food. So if you see in both the cases, if you talk about Ram Charan's family or Lakha Singh's family, in both the situation they do not get a proper meal. Both the families do not provide balanced diet to their family. They do not have a proper medication. None of their kids are going to the school. Basically, sending school, the concept behind sending school is that today what is the situation might change if the kids are converted from a human resource to human capital. Today they are in their raw form. They are the liability for the country. But if they are educated, if they are literate, they will become the asset for the country, and that will help country to grow. Okay, so but in both the case, the kids are not going to school. That means they'll continue with the same lifestyle as their father. Okay, so all this was now here a case study is given. Study the above case of poverty and discuss the following issues related to poverty. So all this you will be doing. Okay, so these two cases I have explained you, the urban case and the rural case. एक गांव का situation explain किया मैंने, एक शहर का situation explain किया. So on the basis of this you will be doing this case study in your copies. Now see, the two typical cases illustrate many dimensions of poverty. They show that poverty means hunger and lack of shelter. So these two cases of Lakha Singh and Ram Charan displays many dimensions. So for one, what such dimension is that poverty means hunger. Hunger is a situation when you want to eat but you do not have food to eat. Okay, it is not about choice of food. It's not that you want to eat burger and you do not have burger at home. No, it means the basic food that is required for a human consumption. If you do not have rice, if you do not have dal, if you do not have flour, wheat at home, so this situation is hunger. Then is lack of shelter. Both the families, if you see, both of them lived in kacha house. They never had a good house for themselves. Where a good house does not mean a bungalow. A good house means where proper sanitation is there. They have a proper toilet. They have a clean drain, well-covered drain. So these are again a part of poverty. If they do not have proper sanitation, they are prone to diseases. They'll definitely fall prey to some of the other diseases today or tomorrow. It is also is a situation in which parents are not able to send their children to school, or a situation where sick people cannot afford treatment. So in both the situation, if they are ill, they do not have money to go to the doctor, they have no healthcare facility. And in both the situation, in Ram Charan's as well as in Lakha Singh's situation, none of their kids are going to school. That means their future is not going to improve in any ways. If the kids grow up, they'll continue with the same profession that is done by their father. Poverty also means lack of clean water and sanitation facility. It also means lack of regular job at a minimum decent level. So they do not have a proper sanitation facility. As I said, they do not have a clean sanitary facility. Apart from that, they do not have a regular job. It is not that the what he's earning 1500, if Ram Charan is earning that, he'll be earning throughout the year. It is not so. Rather, now he's earning, maybe after a month or two he might lose his job. In such situation he has to work. Above all, it means living with a sense of helplessness. Poor people are in situation in which they are ill treated at almost every place in in farm, factories, government offices, hospital, railway stations, etc. Obviously, nobody would like to live in poverty. So it is not about the monetary loss or economic condition that they are suffering. Rather, socially also they are discriminated. Poor people are exploited a lot. Like today, I gave you an example also in the online class that when you go to buy vegetable, you definitely bargain over there because you feel that vegetable vendors, you should bargain with the vegetable vendors. But you never bargain when you go to a doctor. आप डॉक्टर्स के पास जाके कभी bargain नहीं करते that why is your fee 500, why it should have been 300, or if you are prescribing me the medicine, if you are taking test money for extra test, why are you charging this extra 500, consultancy fee, why are you taking from us? So all this you never say to the doctor. Why? Because you feel that the doctor is economically strong, he's rich, you cannot bargain over there. But same concept, same mind, you are not in the same mind frame when you are dealing with a doctor, a vegetable vendor or a rickshaw puller or an auto driver. You do not have same concept. You feel that they are poor and they should be exploited. And this is how, naturally it comes to us. Naturally we start believing like this in our society, that a poor must be exploited. Now, so if you see in all this situation where they do not have money, apart from that, they do not have respect in the society as well, whereas they are working very hard to earn their living. When they do not have respect in the society, nobody would like to be poor. Nobody would be happy being in such a state. One of the biggest challenge of independent India has been to bring millions of its people out of the abject of poverty. So this is one of the biggest challenge that India has faced in the past and is facing in the present as well. That is to make India poverty free. There are many anti-poverty schemes, anti-poverty measures that has come up, but still India has not been able to meet its target. And the main reason behind this is that people are unaware. One who are aware, they do not require it, and one who are not aware, they require it. Like rich people are aware about the government schemes that are coming up for poor people. Okay, like in there are many schemes that come up where free of cost inverter is given to poor people, free of cost solar light is given to poor people, irrigation facilities are provided, tube wells, electric pumps are provided. But poor people, they never come to know about these facilities, and these facilities are also availed by the economically strong people. जो रिच होते हैं वो ही ये पुअर पीपल की भी फैसिलिटीज को यूज करते हैं. सो बिकॉज ऑफ करप्शन इन द सोसाइटी, स्टिल इंडिया हैज नॉट बीन एबल टू मीट इट्स टारगेट ऑफ मेकिंग इंडिया पॉवर्टी फ्री. Mahatma Gandhi always insisted that India would be truly independent only when the poorest of its people become free of human suffering. So Mahatma Gandhi once said a very big thing that उस दिन मैं इंडिया को true sense में independent मानूंगा जिस दिन nobody will go hungry to their bed. And still after 74 years of independence, still such situation have not come. There are millions of people who still die without food. Without medical facilities, they do not have a proper home to live, they do not have a proper sanitation facilities. So still in real sense India has not been independent. It has been independent only from the foreign rule, but there are many other challenges, there are many other problems that India is still facing. Now let us see poverty poverty as seen by social scientists. Since poverty has many facets, social scientists look it as through a variety of indicators. Usually, the indicators used related to the levels of income and consumption. But now, poverty is looked through other social indicators like literacy level, lack of general resistance, general assistance due to malnutrition, lack of access to healthcare, lack of job opportunities, lack of access to safe drinking water, sanitation, etc. Analysis of poverty based on social exclusion and vulnerability is now becoming very common. So now earlier what was there? Earlier when India got independence, it was the poverty was based only on the dimension as food, shelter, and clothes. It was only about fulfilling food, shelter, and clothes. But gradually, what started happening is, I've said you all earlier also that poverty is a moving goal. Poverty एक ऐसे target है जो move करते रहती है. जैसे आज आपकी requirement है food, shelter, and clothes. Later, an addition, if there will be an increase in literacy rate in the country, automatically all those who are not literate through by any condition, they'll fall under the category of poverty. So the social scientists, what they how they see poverty as something that is where people not only they are, if even if they have food, shelter, and clothes, if they are illiterate, they are seen as being a part of the poverty. So poverty is the moving target when people they do not have safe drinking water, if they do not have proper health care, if they cannot go or access the healthcare facilities that are started by the government, if they have lack of literacy, all this, and apart from that, so social exclusion also. Vulnerability is becoming very common. So social exclusion also, society में भी हम poor people को ज़्यादा discriminate करते हैं. We see them somebody as being inferior. Okay, and since we see themselves as inferior, what we feel that automatically these people they become more vulnerable or more approachable to being under the poverty line, being a poverized situation. So poverty is not only not having money, but apart from that, they do not even have respect in the society. So about the social exclusion, we'll be reading in the next topic. We'll be discussing the poverty line also. I'll tell you what is poverty line. Basically, it's an imaginary line according to which it is judged whether a person is above it. It's a person is in the category of APL, that is above poverty line, or BPL, that is below poverty line. BPL would be a very common term where when you would be, if you would be hearing about the PDS system, your public distribution system, your ration shops, where you have an APL card and a BPL card, which is commonly called as Lal card. Okay, so all this we'll be discussing in the next topic. By that time, what you have to do is all the middle questions and the case studies that is given over here, you have to do it in the copies, and once you submit the copies, I'll be marking you on the basis of the work that you have done. Okay, and still I know there are many people who would have not made the copy. So you can do one thing, you can make history and economics in the same copy. And the time that I take to check your copy, you can make another copy also in which you can write history and economics, my subject. I'm not talking about other subject. You can write my subject, history and economics in the same copy. Thank you.